So let's get started. The way I started, I got I chose this example cube with cutouts, right? So it's ready made to go. And this one, if you render, you're going to get a cube with a nice cutout, right? So that's a nice place to start. So the first thing we want to do is we want to make this into variables, right? So as you notice, this 10 relates to the size of the original cube, and these are the ones that cut out the cube. So we'll start with a new variable, and we'll call it size, right? And that will be our size variable. We can set that to anything we like at this point, right? Let's set it to, let's say, 5 or something. So now we like to use this, well, actually 10 over there. Okay, we'll stay with 10. So we'll keep it at 10 just to be consistent here. And then we need to put this variable into every slot that has a 10. And I guess it's the first 3. So I'm going to go to variable. I'm going to go to size. I need 3 of them. I'm going to duplicate those. And I'm going to put them into that. So later on, if I change that, this will be updated. Of course, these other numbers are related to the size, if you notice. For instance, 8 is 2 less, of course, and 12 is 2 greater. So we'll make another variable, and we're going to call this cut plus. Well, cut minus first. Let's say cut minus, and that will be the 8, or 2 less. Technically, it's 2 less than the size, right? So what I'll do is I want to do some math here. I'm going to do some math, and I want to say size minus 2. So it will be size minus 2. So whatever the size is, you're going to subtract 2. And this will be my cut minus. Oops, that happens often. This will be my cut minus. Let's move them over a little bit. These things we don't need anymore. These hard-coded numbers. Okay, so I'm going to do another one. I'm going to actually duplicate this. I think that'll work. Let's see. And I'm going to rename this cut plus. So this will be the 12. Cut up, cut plus. Okay, and we'll say, oh, this one's minus 2 and this one's plus 2. So let's fix that. Okay, so we have our variable cut plus, and now we need to put them in their slots, right? So let's get them. I'm going to put cut plus right here. How many? That's 12, 1, 2. I need 2 of those, right? So duplicate and put them wherever you see a 12. Okay. Again, we don't need these. Could delete them. Okay, this happens often too. You click somewhere and it goes kind of crazy, but okay. Interesting, right? Okay. So we need more variables. We need now cut minus. Oh, wait a second. You see, so this is the interesting thing. When you duplicate, it renames. So rename variable. So let's make it a new variable. Cut minus. Okay, now I think it's okay. So we should have a new variable here. So cut minus, I need 8, 8, or 12, I need one more of the other one that I notice. So cut plus, need a 12 there. So you get the idea, right? So I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, looks like 1, 2, yeah, 6. So let's duplicate that 6 times. The comment thing, never remove comment. Okay, so 8, 8, and we got one more here. Can I delete this? No, it's going to drive me crazy here again. Okay, I guess it's trying to be nice and save that, but it's getting in the way. So, okay, so here goes. Here goes. Okay, so we accomplished something here, right? If we change any of our variables, initial variables, we should still have something nice, right? I mean, something generated. Let me look. So for instance, if I wanted to increase the size, let's say to 14, let me render this. Oh, so upon further examination, this was a minus and the other one was a plus. So let's fix that, right? So this should have been the plus and this one's the minus. So it's reversed. So if you do that, just fix that a little bit. And if you render, you'll get that. So again, the same thing is if I increase this, we're going to get an increase in U size. So what I like to do though is I like to make this into what they call a module, right? So we want to make a module here, so we can repeat it. So I'm going to call this cut block module, right? And so what we like to do is we like to make a lot of these, right? So I'm going to make a loop, and I'm going to do a loop, and I'm going to get the module down here. Should have a cut block, and we're going to make. Well, now we have to decide how many, right? So right now it says 10. I'm going to hard code that too. I mean, I'm going to parameterize that too. But right now, let's say 5. The only thing is we'll make 5 in the same location. So we have to move. We have to move them, right? So we're going to move. I guess we could do this and then remove them. So we say 1, 2, 5. So we're going to move them, and we're going to move them related. So this will be in the x direction. I'm going to change this to an x. So this will be in the x direction. So I'll just call this variable x, right? And it'll run 5 times right now. Although we can control that too. So I'm going to make another variable here called, let's see, I'll call it num blocks, right? So num blocks. So meaning how many blocks we want, right? Num blocks, and make it equal to, let's say, 5 or something like that. So we have num blocks, and we can put that into this slot here. So num blocks is right here, put it right here, and I'll run 5 times, or if we change it later. The only thing is this x has to change. So what I need to do is I need to set this variable x to a different value, and it's going to be I times the size plus the gap. So I have to actually do a little math here. So I have to say x is equal to I guess I need to get the I here. I'm sorry, x, no more I. So this x is equal to x plus, now this is another, plus the sum of the size, so that's the size plus the gap. So we have to add another math, right? We have to add another math, and this will be, let's see, I have to get the variable, and this will be size plus the gap. Where's the gap? I have it somewhere. Do I have a gap? Oh no, not yet. So I want the gap. The gap is between the two. So I'm going to make a new variable right at the top, and I'm going to call it gap. Gap, and right now we'll make it 2 or something. So it'll be 2. Okay, so now we have gap, and we're going to go over here, and we're going to get gap, and we're going to say. So we got a sum here. So x, and we're going to put that in the x slot, right? Should go right here. See, set x. Okay, figured that one out really fast. It's not set. We just need the math. We just need the math equation, right? So x times the size plus gap. So we don't need to set x. This actually is the value. So we just need an equation, not a variable setting a variable. So I just dragged this in. So it's x, which is the variable, times, this is a times, not an x, the size plus the gap. So if I put this into that slot and I render, you see what we do is we get a few of them separated by the gap. So the nice thing about this now is that if I increase, let's say I want to increase the gap to 4 and I want to render, you're going to get more space between them, right? So let me just try one more. 8. And yeah, definitely is increasing. So let's put maybe 1.5 as a gap and render. And there it is, right? Okay, this thing is hard to manipulate, but there it is. Okay, so we have it in the X direction. Now we want it in the Y direction. So we're going to get another loop. We're going to put it around here. We need num blocks again. This will be num blocks. So let's get the variable num blocks. Put it in here, this slot. And we need to translate in the X direction. So I'm going to take this out. I'm going to duplicate it, right? Because we need to do the same thing. So this could go back in the X. And this will be my, and I didn't change the variable here, but I'm going to change the name of this to Y. Oops. To Y. So this is in the Y direction. And we're going to change this times. The same thing. It's the same thing, right? So we're going to say Y into that slot. Let's take a look at it, right? And now we should get like a plane of these. Oops. Let me just see Y. Oh, something happened here. Change this to Y instead of X. Let's see. This should have been an X, right? Count. And rename variable. I don't know what happened here. Interesting. So now it's X, okay. But they're both changing. So maybe I need a new variable. Y. So getting used to this. So that's okay now. X and Y. All right. So let's try that. Still. Okay, X. Oh, this one's not Y. This one should be Y. Okay. So a little trickery here. I don't know. Sometimes it's still getting used to this, but so this is my Y loop, my X loop, and this controls the X position. This controls the Y position. Okay. So you probably know what's coming next. We're going to do the Z position too. So we're going to do a loop in the Z direction. So there it is. I guess I have to make a new variable, not rename. So that's what I'm doing wrong. Z. And it's just a duplicate of one of these, except it's going to be Z. So I'm going to change this to Z. And I'm going to put it back into X. And this one will go into Z. So finally, I think we have our blocks of blocks. Here they are. And nice, right? So like I said before, oh, something doesn't look right, right? Num blocks, oh, this is still 10. So let's get num blocks again and put it into that slot. So it should be num blocks. So let's see, let's render again. Okay, so let's make some changes here. So if I want to increase the size, let's say to 20, this is going to be the same. Num blocks 5 is okay. I'm going to increase the gap to 3, and now we render, and we're going to get bigger blocks with a bigger gap. Okay, so that's the project.